I have to reload the window capture here. Due to internet circumstances beyond our control, oftentimes we get some drop frames and whatnot, so I have to restart the stream. I am usually not suffering from this problem too often, but today it started up and it got slowly worse and worse. So here we are with 3 minutes left against our quite speedy opponent. I'm not really sure what we're supposed to do here. G4, of course, does seem, it seems pretty logical. But then knight h4, and I've weakened my king side to a good degree. So I'm trying to think of another plan, something other than g4. This h6 moves so early. Something kind of strange about that. It does weaken his king side a bit. All right. I'm taking my time because I don't know what to do, to be perfectly honest. Rook e1. How about, you know what, overprotecting my strong point in the center? Maybe setting up some tactics with like bishop takes f5 and e6. Take away the e1 square from my knight. There's a negative to everything. There's a negative side to everything. Wow, queen b6. It could be a positive. Play it like a King's Indian attack here. I don't know what else to do. I need to protect this pawn. I mean, I could take on f5 there. Maybe I should. Take on f5 and play what? Give up my good bishop? Yo, Skinner, is your rating going up, or is it my imagination? He's now 2,065, 1891 in Blitz. Okay, g5. Fabiano Caruana style move. I don't really believe in this type of stuff. Maybe I have to do g4, and then it's really irrational, huh? g4, knight h4. Whew. That is some craziness. King h1, g4, knight g1. Dropping a pawn. There's also h3. Alright. h3 is fine. If he plays h5, I guess I'll take on g5. We're down to a minute to his 6 minutes. I mean, I feel like Black's play is kind of incorrect on a fundamental level. Like, you're just leaving the king in the center and throwing your wing pawns. It feels wrong somehow. Now maybe it's my turn. Can I sack a pawn here? I thought I could sack a pawn. Maybe it doesn't work. Try to open lines against his king. Guys, we did 15 plus 2 time controls, but it's too long. It just really dragged, really dragged the last couple of weeks. So 8-3 every single game. No blitz. We were doing 15 plus 2 in previous weeks, but it's just only 5 games a session, and it was like some of the games were just really dragging along. So I decided to make it 8 plus 3 for all the games today. Mule Skinner. He's been scoring very well of late. You know, he used to lose every single game, but in the last couple weeks, he just suddenly started scoring almost 50%. It's quite a transformation. It's almost like he's a different player. Not to make excuses, but I don't really play the advanced variation or know the theory too well. So it's possible I'm walking into, you know, theory that's just good for black. It feels to me like philosophically, fundamentally, what black does here, it's kind of coffee house, you know. You're black in a French defense, and you're playing like it's a, it's like the Sicilian or something. But we don't have a lot of time. I'm scared. I mean, you know, I don't think he's got G4. He might try H5. He might try to take the pawn. But I thought we could steal the initiative here. Basically, that's what's going on. We're trying to steal his initiative. Sacking a pawn on the queen side, open lines against his king, and distract him from attacking my king with this coffee style. G5, Rook G8, H5, etc. It's more intuitive than anything calculation based. I mean, fundamentally. Alright, well, this will take some pressure off my center if I'm able to play B5. I'm probably going to need to play G4 though. You know, the church bell is ringing on Monday. I'm not sure what that's about. I guess it's just 12 o'clock. G4 weakens my king's side. I don't really have a choice here. I don't have a choice. Maybe bishop E3. I'll continue to offer that pawn on the queen side. Just crushing me. I think the mule Skinner is suddenly master strength in the last, I would say, since about here. The last 10 games or so, he used to lose most games, but he's improved dramatically. This game, I do admit I don't know the line, but I understand the fundamentals of chess, so I should be able to. Wow. Should be able to control the center and whatnot. Man, scary, scary. And he's playing super fast. Try to get my king to a safe position. Sacking a pawn, I guess. I could have played A4. We have bishop F4 check, actually, in some lines. Maybe we're not. Yeah, it looks like we're sacking a pawn here. Of course, it's against his king if he takes that pawn. His own king could get under attack along the open line. I think it's a reasonable, practical pawn sacrifice for white. Pawn on b5. I don't see any immediate tactics. I could play knight takes d5 actually there. Rook b1. Maybe that works. Bishop g5. This is kind of a weird choice by me. He's so fast. What am I going to do? I'm not taking on h5. When did he get so fast, dude? What? This is some kind of insane sacrifice to open a long diagonal. Oh, h3 is hanging. Goodness gracious. What a dynamic play. Damn, dude. After rook takes d6, black is probably better. Or not. The engine doesn't think so. Wow, I thought this is legit for you. Wow. With two very dangerous passed pawns, the computer thinks he's just lost. Well, that's pretty harsh, man. I don't know. I thought I was just in a lot of trouble in this game, but perhaps it was under control. Really crazy game. Here you were better, apparently. I don't know. Yeah, we could subject this game to a lot of analysis. Chances for both sides. I thought black was better before. Apparently the exchange sack wasn't enough. I thought it was dangerous. Well, we got a lot of spectators. Why is that? Why do we suddenly have so many spectators? Oh no, Aura Knight. Oh, it's sorry rated. Alright, dude. You can have my rating points. Let's try to abort the game and we'll restart. If you could re-challenge me, Aura Knight. Why? He did another challenge to rated. Aura Knight. Try to challenge to not rated. Marius, welcome to the stream. Haven't seen you in a while. Alright, Aura Knight. He still can't challenge me to unrated. He must have some kind of setting where it's only rated ever. Aura Knight, can you challenge me to casual challenge? It's not that difficult. He doesn't want to play. If it's not rated, I played in the Simul yesterday. That wasn't rated. He's not strong with options. The bishop's scope must have been worth the pawn, at least in a blitz game. Marius, yeah. I mean, I was impressed by the pawn sacrifice and time pressure. I don't know, Aura Knight, where are you? He found it. Alright. Yeah, I just have too big a headache to play rated games. I mean, it's hard, and I don't like playing rated games where I'm talking about the moves. You know, I mean, giving my opponent ideas, it's... And in time, it's just too big a handicap. I might as well just, like, be 2200. Alright, Aura Knight. I was just thinking, it's been a long time since I lost a tournament game against e4. But I don't get very many e4s. My openings are apparently better worked out against e4. People prefer to play d4 against me. I didn't like that last game. I mean, it feels like in the French defense, black should normally castle kingside. It feels very coffee house, and also I draw parallels to the way the Caruana plays the black side of the advance Caro Khan in the main line, where he does like h6 and g5. I mean, come on, I've done some videos on chesslecture.com talking about that line. Honestly, it just doesn't feel like it's sound. You know, black doing this kind of stuff. It goes against kind of fundamental principles. You can get away with it, but it feels like if white were to play precisely, black's position somehow is kind of strategically dubious. But I don't think I really know enough, you know, to punish black in that line. I mean, obviously when he played h6 on move 7, I was kind of not paying close attention and not really... perhaps not really being careful enough. But his intention is to play g5. You know, okay, you think, well, maybe black played h6 because they're just passive and want to be careful. But, I mean, the reality is black's going to try to play g5 there. It's a practical try. I don't think that it's... I wouldn't recommend people to play like that. But maybe it's not bad. There's got to be more correct ways for black to defend. But in the game, he had a lot of very good practical chances. If you want to attack like a wild man, though, I mean, I don't know if I would play the French. Bishop e3. Yeah, alright, e6. There's a lot of moves here. Rook b8, knight f6. I played mostly rook b8, I think. I remember losing a game here on the stream with a kind of unusual line, queen d2, queen a5. This is like old school closed Sicilian. Kind of classical Smyslav style with white. Crusader of Hope said, I feel you play your best when you feel you know your opponent, and worse when you feel unprepared because you lack knowledge on the player. That's certainly important. I think the other thing, Crusader of Hope, is... The other thing that helps, which didn't help me in the last game, is when you feel very comfortable in certain types of structures and certain types of positions, it's more important to be in a situation that you feel confident and at home, than it is how important, like, objectively, how good your position is according to the computer. I mean, you know, it's better to be in a position where it's like a small advantage according to the engine, where you feel comfortable, than say an equal position where you don't really have a clue, or have never played that kind of position before. So what I'm trying to say is that you're talking about like confidence is huge. I agree. All right, so like one of the oldest lines in the closed Sicilian probably here. I don't remember if I played this against Aranite or someone else, but I definitely, I'm thinking like I might have even played h6 in some game, and it's pretty extreme to play h6. I had a game against somebody where I got in trouble playing sort of standard moves in this position. Of course, I don't think he can play bishop h6. I could take the bishop takes bishop and knight takes c2, and he doesn't have a knight coming to g5 to checkmate me. So he can't do bishop h6 yet. I guess this is still probably like a main line. Yeah, I was looking at this, to be honest, recently. Not very much, just a little bit. According to the engine, it's like equal. Not surprising, right? Not exciting. What can you do? It's very hard to get an exciting position, and everybody who plays the Sicilian as black probably feels kind of disappointed every time you face something like the closed Sicilian or the Grand Prix attack. I know I do. The c3 Sicilian is another fun killer. It's very important to be comfortable with the pawn structure. Like Plucro says there, pawn structure may be one of the most important things as far as feeling comfortable in certain types of positions. Like I played against that strange account from Liberia earlier. That's a good example, the Smyslov variation of the King's Indian for white, where you play 5 bishop g5. This is a variation that's objectively not dangerous for black, but my score with white is incredible. I've only lost like twice, and I probably have a dozen wins. Just because I have a lot of experience and I feel comfortable in the structures that arise. Objectively, white has no advantage, and it's better to play like the classical King's Indian or something. But I feel comfortable. My opponents don't really feel that comfortable, and that's to my advantage. Now, I think I'm not supposed to rush with this exchange on d4, although it's probably not bad. Years ago, I remember watching the Vietnamese Grandmaster Win Wok Truongson playing here in Budapest, and he very early had a very good affinity for like playing the black side of the closed Sicilian. I remember just simple style moves in this kind of position. Used to play the Sveshnikov. Became 2680. A couple of good Vietnamese players came through here. Quang Liem also, who's now over 2700. I played him. I had a lot of battles with both of them. But what I learned from Win was that the fact that you can just kind of hang out like in this kind of structure. Black doesn't have to do anything really special here. F3 looks kind of passive. I would think that's a weird move. So we're better mobilized than white now. Maybe could even claim a tiny advantage. Probably not, though. He's just too solid. Thinking about queen a4 type of ideas, probing the weaknesses. Turn it into a queen pawn game. That's what it looks like. As far as like pronouncing Vietnamese names, I have a hard time. I'm just kind of improvising. But anyway, I try my best. C takes d4. Bishop takes d4 was not on my radar. Alright. I played that quickly, but I mean, it looks like I have the e5. Somebody said e5 in the structure, right? We can't afford to trade that here. And then we get d5, e5, d5, classic Sicilian break. He gains a tempo. But that's okay. Rook d1, I have to move my queen again, is what I'm saying with the tempo business. Not a whole lot going on. It's very tedious to beat the closed Sicilian, try to beat the closed Sicilian, obviously. Guys, usually I'm finishing at 12:30, but Mondays I'm trying to extend the stream to 1 o'clock. That game hurted, especially because I must have misjudged the position. Thought I was winning at some point. Never had anything serious. Well, I was just playing, you know, some pawn sacrifices on principle there. But I'm not sure, Mule Skinner. I thought you were better at some point. It felt like you were probably better. I was afraid that my pawn sacrifices weren't quite sound. I couldn't calculate. I didn't have time to calculate. You know, I was just playing on intuition mostly. I'm happy to know, though, that Stockfish thought I was all right throughout the game. Very difficult position to play. For both sides, obviously. Now, Queen a4. Queen a4 is nice, and it feels really funky to throw it out there to a4, but at the same time, you know, it might be a little bit out of play. I guess Queen e6 is kind of normal move here. Queen e6 or Queen c7. Although Queen c7... Yeah, let's stay in the center. Though, with Queen a4, honestly, I have these cheapos with Bishop a6. And also hitting a2. I guess Queen a4 was strong. I rejected it because of the stupidest reason, like b3, but you know, there I could simply play Queen c6. It's really strong, ironically, like f4, knight takes c3. So I regret not doing it, not pulling the trigger. All right, here we go. I mean, it makes sense to play aggressively with my pawn majority, but it's always risky in such scenarios. It's involving the weakening of my king position and f5, but it's controlling key squares, e4 in particular, keeping his knight off of e4. Queen is hanging. I was thinking of tucking it back on f7 here. I mean, it's a little bit paranoid, isn't it, to play Queen f7, but it's just a kind of safe move. I mean, maybe it's not entirely paranoid, but it's probably best to play something a little bit more aggressive. Rook fe8 or rook a e8. What about my rook getting trapped with b3? Aura Knight's 4 minutes, man. Another tough position. I want to overprotect e5. Now I just have to move quickly. Everybody has like much faster game than me. That's what I get for trying to find the best move. Which country is the champ? National competition in almost every country in the world as well. Some big... Oh, you're talking about chess championships. Obviously, there are tournaments throughout the world. A lot of them independent. Most of them independent of each other. But, look how solid white is. Playing pretty aggressively here. Once again, it seems like f7 is the place to be. Probably have to retreat my knight to c7, which seems, or e7, probably c7. In the event of c4, knight c7. Rerouting. It's a risky game, playing f5, e5, but it's also thematic and dynamic. Both sides have competing pawn majorities here. Black has a little bit of an initiative with the advanced pawn. This is forced. Everything's protected. Now obviously e4. But is it too soon? I don't know. No answer, but I'm losing on time. We also have bishop d4 check. But I'm not certain it really does anything. Rook takes e4. I like it. I like rook takes e4 in some lines. Wow. Bishop d4 check. Trying to confuse the hell out of white, basically. We're just trying to confuse you, sir. Trying to make something out of nothing here. I just didn't want to lose control of the open file, but apparently white's okay no matter what I do. Just fundamentally okay. We tried to stay as active as I could. Wow, alright. Slightly weakening his king side, but it's probably not a big deal. I keep confusing Ara Knight with Mules. I suddenly started confusing Ara Knight with Mule Skinner. Mule Skinner was my last opponent, and I started thinking... For some reason, I started thinking that Ara Knight was Mule Skinner. Maybe because their ratings are fairly close. They're different players. Okay, it's an equal type of position. It reminds me of my game with Ara Knight yesterday, actually. Where I had a little initiative with black, but then suddenly I was in danger of losing to a queenside majority. Which could happen again here. The game is almost identical in spirit to my simul game against said opponent yesterday. Every Sunday I play a simul here. I want you to leave my A pawn alone, please. If you wouldn't mind. Do not touch the chalupa on A7. Taco Bell. Oh, that's a disturbing move. Damn, dude. fast too. It's the same as the last endgame. The exact same as yesterday's game. That's so strange. You just won a pawn for nothing. Just destroyed me. Kidding. Just flawless endgame technique. Wow. Just better the whole game, but it's not enough. It's all theory according to the computer. Best moves. d4 is kind of unusual. Bishop takes d4 is a strange move. Computer likes it best though. That's unclear. Yeah, I mean basically white is just slightly worse. The same as my simul game with him yesterday. He seems to be an endgame expert or something. Should be a draw, but I managed to lose. Well, he's like 4 minutes faster than me somehow. This is a draw and ending. Knight b4, that's best move according to the engine. And I thought I was okay here, but he has bishop f4. Suddenly with threats. Now I thought I was lost. This is a losing move with no time on the clock. Knight c6, I didn't see how that can work because of bishop c7. I have to play perfectly. After knight d5, I only move knight c6. Which I thought loses to bishop c7, but I have this miracle here. I have to be able to calculate this miracle variation. Pretty hard to do, you know. Your opponent is like 4 minutes ahead on the clock in a relatively blitz game. Nearly perfect game by white. The computer has some issues with some move he made somewhere, but basically he didn't make any mistakes. It should have been a draw, but I just didn't have the time to play perfectly there. So it's the Old Indian or King's Indian? Old Indian. Sometimes people play this bishop g5. I've never really been drawn to it, but it's a variation. It's not as effective as against the King's Indian because black breaks the pin. With bishop e7, obviously, there's not as much inconvenience for black. But nevertheless, it's kind of easy way for white to play without really thinking too much. I'm impressed by that guy, that last opponent's endgame technique. He almost beat me in the simul in the same exact way yesterday too. He plays incredibly fast. It was the same thing in the simul last night. Very, very fast. And then he started using time at the end when he couldn't quite convert a nearly winning position. But in today's game, I mean, he basically doesn't do anything. Has his system all worked out with white, and then I spend all my time thinking, and then have to play accurately and don't have enough time to do it. Not easy. Life is not easy. So this is a low maintenance variation against the old Indian, but I don't think it's objectively dangerous for black. Some decent grandmasters like Yapishin I've seen play the setup with bishop g5. I just don't think it... I wouldn't play it in a tournament game because I just don't think this really... It's not very effectual, you know, the bishop on g5. The bishop on g5, it's not really doing anything. You know, he's got the pin covered, so black's basically okay. It's not... I don't like the old Indian because it's not a very active defense for black. Now he's converting to a... This is probably the wrong plan for black Const change. You're supposed to play something like knight h5 and trade the dark squared bishop. That's the flaw in white's position, the fact that I have to trade pieces there. But after bishop f8, you're going into a kind of a bad king's Indian. So now we have a decent game. Whereas after knight h5, it's probably about equal. Alright, queen e7. Wow. That is super weird. Why would you want to do that? Walking right into the pin instead of getting out of the pin. Man, that is strange, dude. And now knight e4 is even possible. I mean, white has a lot of options. I could even close the structure with d5 if I wanted to. Would certainly be like a decent Petrosian king's Indian for white. Pawn takes pawn. He might take with the knight on e5 rather than the pawn. Queen e7 is really, really bizarre. Here we go with the time again. There's a temptation to play bishop d3, but I think that would probably even help black. You know, playing g6 is arguably a reasonable move. He wants to put his queen on e6. It's a very unusual idea in this kind of line. Maybe we should play d5 with that queen on e7, come to think of it. Seems like he just has a really strange setup for black in the Petrosian king's Indian. I'm going to change plans. Convert this actually, this rook here is not best. I don't know. I didn't see anything concrete. The rook is not great on d1. It'll have to reposition later on, but it's not really important right now. His pieces are so bottled up. White's game is on the queen side usually. It's going to be a long game, closed position. Chess Troll. Chess Troll did not challenge today. We got challenges from God of Snooker. Yeah. I mean, obviously, it's a Petrosian. You know, I kind of played d5, honestly, because of that queen on e7. It's got a no longer available the e6 square where he wanted to go. Now he made a mistake. It's a lot like a Leningrad Nimzo. Basically, he just has a Leningrad Nimzo where the bishop wasn't traded. Bishop takes c3, b takes c on on c3. And maybe he couldn't play e4 there because of e4, knight b5. We always have that trick. Bishop d3, e4, knight takes e4, knight takes e4, bishop takes e4. We got to check on h7 at the end of the day. We take over the white squares. I don't play the Leningrad Nimzo, but I have played against it. And it tends to be a problem. I have a hard time with black facing the Leningrad Nimzo and with bishop g5. Not my favorite place to be, basically. Knight h5. Cool. Knight h5 has been called. If you don't take, I'm going to get out of there. But now, like a true Petrosian King's Indian, we have a lockdown on the white squares. We did jeopardize our pawn structure a little bit here, but we can probably live with that. I mean, in fact, rook f1, g4, we have a white square, a good white square bind. If he plays like e4, I expected e4 really. If he plays that, I'm just gonna maybe wait until the right moment to take it. I don't have to rush with bishop takes e4 even. I don't have to take this pawn right away if he tries to do that. So it's just a white square control issue. Alright. Which way do we take here? Queen takes looks more active. But rook takes probably best, doubling rooks on the file. Wow, knight g6. Now we put a knight on e4. First double rooks, I guess. All right. Threats of rook takes f7 look real here. Definite exchange sacrifices possible. Maximally, we have one more game today. Bunch of challengers. Rook takes f7. Doesn't look right here. We play knight there. Knight f6 check ideas. Maybe rook f6. This is the kind of position I live for, when I played this line with white. Maybe constant change would have been better off just sacking a pawn with e4. Even if it's going to be lost, it's possibly a better chance than getting locked in. Yeah, he's done. Okay. Talking to myself. Sorry about that. He's done. Stick a fork in him. No, not yet. Not yet. Constant change is pretty tricky. I have time for one more game. I keep forgetting it's not 15 plus 2. I think we'll play... How do we increase the pressure here? Maybe g4. g4 looks good. Yeah, just increasing the control. You know, knight h4 is not a problem. Man, knight f6 check. Nah, don't need to do that. He's not going anywhere. I could play knight f6 check, but it's not essential. This is the easiest way to beat the King's Indian, you know, according to Tigran and Petrosian. I don't mean he said that, but he showed it in his games. It's an absolute classic Petrosian King's Indian theme. Taking with the f pawn on g3, dominating the white squares. Making the bad bishop on g7 bad. This is my time pressure. What time pressure? We could consider maneuvering a knight through f5 here. What am I afraid of though? Like objectively, let's just play g3, like king g2, and maybe even the h file. We could even play h4 later on. Oh, man, black is just in a very uncomfortable situation. Triple. We could triple on the file. That looks good. It's going to be hard to meet tripling. But h4 I think will take him apart. Okay, it's not that easy. True. Probably have to use some tactics. Well, f6, okay, f6. One more game after this. Take. Right. Alright, it's a bad bishop. Oh no. It's an exchange sacrifice. Wait a second here. Knight e4. And I missed this cheapo. God. Why would I take the other way? I missed the cheapo. Probably still better, even after missing the cheapo. But he never misses a tactic, ever. Constant change. f6. Might give him some counterplay if I play h4. Wow. The Battle of the Kings. Suddenly there is nowhere to go. Oh no. It's mate. Surprising mate. That was lucky though. I mean, I was really walked into f4 trick. Alright, nice try there, constant change. We're going to play last game against M. Havgar. Havgar, I haven't seen you in a while. That's, I think, the only unrated challenge we had. Fly in the Sky is just unrated. Challywell, those guys have unestablished ratings. God of Snooker. I require everybody to have established ratings and unrated games. That's why I picked out Havgar there. Established rating, unrated games. This will be the last game for the stream today. The others were, there was one rated challenge and, oh, F4, that's cool. F3, you played this before against me, Havgar. I had a very interesting game a couple of months ago. I don't know if I played this line against you. Maybe I did. And B5. We have to do this. This is the best for black against this line. Maybe I should castle. No, I have to play B5 right away. I won a very interesting game in this. Last game, guys, it's actually, I'm going to be a little over time. It's been over 3 hours. Now, I think I'm supposed to castle here. Right. This is absolutely the most dynamic way for black to play against the f3 Nimzo. It looks like the best chance. I won a really nice game recently. A lot of good players. Not easy to find something active against this line. But I like this a lot for black. I think that the main line for years was like B takes C in this position. But it's not necessary for black to release the tension so early. Okay, this is a move. Actually, maybe this is a move I faced. I feel like this is a move I faced recently. Probably doesn't hurt to play h6. M. Havgar. I mean, I don't know. I can't click on your name anymore. Let's see. It doesn't show me where you're from. I think you're from Romania, if I remember correctly. And I don't know, F3, the famous Florin Gheorghiu. Maybe that's your inspiration for playing F3. The Romanian Grandmaster basically popularized this entire system. Of course, he wasn't the only one. There are other good players. Okay, so D6. If I remember correctly, I think my analysis was D6. I don't like I think actually the Hungarian Grandmaster Portish played f3 sometimes too, but I think d6 was my analysis though. I'm kind of questioning my memory here. I had a game, yeah. Okay, I had a game here. Pawn takes e6, bishop takes e6, pawn takes b5, and it was a computer line I found. Somehow I played d5, yeah. That must have been it. Takes e6, bishop takes e6, c takes b, and then d5, pawn takes pawn, bishop f5, sacking 2 pawns. I won a team game a few months ago. Here is pawn takes c4, bishop takes c4. Unfortunately, pawn takes d5, bishop takes d5. That's not that convincing. Alright, we have to think now. I don't like weakening myself with g5 if I don't have to. I should take on d5 right away, probably. This is sharp, though. If I take on c4, it gives him that recapture with the piece on d5. There's no real easy solution here. B takes c, bishop takes c4. That actually looks pretty good for him. Let's say play g5, which I don't really like. Any suggestions? Reminds you of a Benko declined. Should I take on c3 first? It's not really convincing. Ever taking on c3. Yeah, I think your move is better than taking on e6 as was played against me. It's probably best play for white. Not giving any ground. Yeah, it's a little like a Benko. Alright, I just have to do something here. We're going to have to do something involving developing the pieces, I think. I'm sure I have time to play a6. I don't think that's on the agenda. We're going to have to develop quickly. Last game for today, guys. Taking on c4 with queen a5. Well, usually white has bishop takes f6. In those kind of situations. Rook e8 doesn't do me any good here. I can play c4. Bishop c5 sometimes. Nothing direct for black. I feel like I need to develop my pieces. Pizzas. He managed to maintain his Benko, Benoni type of structure. Benko, Benoni, Blumenfeld. They all start with B. Maybe we can try to trap his king in the center. I don't know. Could be too late for that. I was also thinking 95, but it doesn't do a whole lot. Alright. This looks good for white. 2095. I can't click on it. I have no hyperlink anymore. If I refresh the page, maybe it will work. Let's check the hyperlink now. It's working. If there's some bug. He's much higher in classical chess than Blitz. Alright. This looks good for white, though. bishop c5 doesn't work because of knight takes b5? Or can I play that? Yeah, maybe I can play this. I better do something fast, you know. Because if not, I mean, if he castles, I think I'm in trouble. Knight takes b5, queen b6, and I get the b2 pawn, you know, with some kind of unclear position, maybe. We'll at least get our pawn back, and it'll be kind of messy. But his king is still stuck in the center. That's at least something to work with for black. Remember to donate, says Arsenal fan Richie. Rufus and Doofus? What's that? Some kind of Simon Williams phraseology? Sounds like some Simon Williams pawns or something. Never play f3. F3 also can be good. In the wrong hands. If black has the wrong player, f3 can be devastating. I mean, it's good against the King's Indian, the Benoni, the Banco. It's a risky but also kind of positional sort of setup. Believe me, I don't know. It took me a long time to find this line with black to be somewhat comfortable, but I've only been playing it for a few months. I thought of playing c5 last year. c5 and b5, I mean. But some new ideas have cropped up. Yeah, so Havgar eventually plays bishop f2. This is this is obviously a very sensible approach. But we have pretty strong Benko type of play here. Benko. I keep saying that. I mean to say Benoni. Some kind of Freudian problem. I can't say Benoni. I have to say Benko. I don't know that b4 is even the best move. It does force his knight to an awkward position on the side of the board, though. That seems like it should be good for me. The position is less than clear. You know, what I didn't want to do was just some kind of like bishop takes f2 check, king takes f2, queen b6 check, queen d4, and then suddenly, like, that ending is probably pretty good for white. You know, I don't want to trade queens in this position. He's basically forced to play knight a4 there. All right, well, what we really need to do is to find an active plan. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no, Bill. We've got to find a better way to do that, I think. A better way would be knight e5 here. I almost went with a very bad idea, bishop a6, walking directly into knight d4. We've got to eliminate Mr. Knight with Mr. Bishop, and then we can deal with two knights against bishop and knight, looking for dark square hunting, basically. Hunting for dark squares. His king is a definite joker. It's in a really risky spot. There's knight forks hanging around. The Benoni. Found the right plan, at least. Dark square village. There's a knight check on d3 too. That could make life interesting. Last game, guys. We're gonna see you tomorrow. Tomorrow, normal blitz and classical chess. Anything between 5+3 and 8+3. So you have a wider range of choices. In challenging me, you You can make me have even worse time pressure than today. Blue Crow says, c4, what? Bishop takes c4, a takes b5. It's an f3 Benko. Havgar is in trouble here, strategically. I mean, it's not an easy position to play. He has a lot of dark square weaknesses. I have a dangerous passed pawn, sort of. My house is in order. My king is safe. It's unlikely he's going to get an attack on my king. Whereas his king is really a massive question mark. Ooh. We have knight d3 check. Also queen b6. There's also knight g4 type of ideas. Knight g4 check, just for the sake of doing it. Like, and my queen is out there too. This can't be bad, right? I dare you to play king e3. Considerably safer than king e3. Both sides in time pressure. Wouldn't believe what I'm analyzing now. b3, knight b2. Followed by queen takes b2, c3. And queen takes d4 next. That's a cool variation, you have to admit. I'm not sure if it's that great, but it's probably not bad. He walked into the pin. Right. Oh no. It's good. Take, check. What do I get at the end? It's an exchange sacrifice. Oh no, it's just mate. Anyway, a nice finish. That's how the king's supposed to end up in the f3 Nimzo. Alright guys, I feel like I was a little bit lucky there. But fun game anyway. Fun variation for black against the f3 Nimzo. We will be back tomorrow, 10 a.m. CET, with more chess, classical, and blitz here. Thanks Blue Crow for moderating. Thanks everyone for watching. Thanks Havgar for letting me win a nice game for the last game in the stream. We'll see you tomorrow, guys. Again, check out my YouTube channel, Video Chess Training on YouTube. Also, don't forget to support the stream with donations via PayPal and also my YouTube channel. So I appreciate those of you that did donate. I think we had a donation from Steve yesterday. I really appreciate it, guys. Take care. Bye-bye.